I believe that if women have raised the bar and truly want a good partner, they should never expect a man to pay even $1 more towards all, and I do mean all, expenses. With that said, a man should also clean up after himself at all times in a household, and the woman should have to do half of all yard work, maintain her own vehicle at all times, pay for her own food, her own clothes, her own shoes, her own makeup and feminine products. This setup has to last no matter what the conditions are. No matter if the woman or man gets sick, no matter if she is pregnant or not, and when children do come into the picture, she must be willing and able to pay exactly half of all childcare and costs at all times. Once everything is paid, the man gets to keep his leftover income and the woman gets to keep her leftover income. This is how a partnership works. This is what equality is as per the logic of modern feminism. Men are treated by the courts as if they entered a business agreement when married and are held to a high standard of financial responsibility. Women, however, could act like they have no responsibility to try to maintain the going concern of the marriage and are there just to take. Well, good, that's coming to an end. The problem men have today is that we've been educated that men and women are equal. There was this sense and understanding that men are providers where they are the breadwinners for the family, as well as their protectors from other men or from the evils of society. And if you don't provide that role, you'd get kicked out of your community. Or if the man is an alcoholic or an abuser, he'd be divorced. So that's what divorce used to mean for men. But now, after the feminist no-fault divorce phenomenon, it has changed the game entirely. Now, the men of this generation and the next who have been brought up in the era of feminism and who are made to believe that men and women are equal, have to then also pay for child support. They have to pay for alimony, fight for their kids, while the society tells everyone that men and women are equal. That doesn't make sense if you think about it. There's nothing in such a situation. Here's the raw truth. The most expensive way to keep a woman is in the form of a wife. Think about it. Putting aside the need for friendship and companionship, physical relations with an escort is a financial transaction, but an honest one. She does not pretend to care or love you as a wife does. She does not need to lie. She wants your money. You, her body. You're both very clear about it. You pay for something specific, and you get it. We all pay one way or another. Why not make it an honest transaction, instead of creating fake scenarios where you waste your time, energy, and resources? When you crunch the numbers, it is so much cheaper to simply pay a pro from time to time as you feel the need. In marriage, you commit your life, your soul, your all, with no guarantee that she will not one day break the supposed to be lifetime contract, take half your life from you, and move on to another target. This is really sad, but our world has come to this place. If I was a really young man in today's society, I would not get married. I would enjoy my life, keeping the fruits of my labor and enjoying the opposite gender as my desire demands. It's horrible to say, but we have evolved to this. There is simply no free physical relations between man and woman. A man always pays, one way or another. The most expensive method of engaging in intimate physical activity is marriage. According to statistics, men who choose to remain single and pursue physical intimacy with career women, while also having far less financial responsibility and commitment, have much less closeness during their lifetime of marriage than men who opt to have intimate relationships outside of marriage. They do in fact receive what they paid for. It is entirely reasonable. People who judge men for hiring a professional are the same kind of dumb people judging someone for not wanting to have kids. Life can be simple and easy thanks to professionals. You have all the time, money, and bedtime you could ever ask for. And peace of mind, of course. The only thing that is important is to have good connections and good friends to make life meaningful. But marriage is an archaic concept nowadays with the current system, society, and laws protecting women. Another thing, women and society have made physical relations all about the woman's final release of pleasure and nothing else. Women actually love not having one, no matter what a man does, so they can go to lunch the next day with another woman or few and tell them how terrible the man she was with last night was. How he didn't do this or that or the other thing for sympathy from these other women. I've seen and heard various versions of this over the years in restaurants, and it always plays out the same way. Some female experts here on YouTube will tell you you're supposed to ask her what she likes. If you do that, she'll be making fun of you the next day with her equally dysfunctional girlfriends. It is so much cheaper to have professional services than to date because of the amount of money women want you to spend on the first date. God forbid, you don't want to take her to get a coffee to actually get to know her. You have to spend $300 to $400 on the first date so she can show off to all her friends how much money you have and how well off she's going to be by being with you. And the crazy part about all of this is that you're not even guaranteed to sleep with her at the end of the night. Isn't paying for it much better for men then? Women truly have no right to whine about how awful dating is. They find dating to be simple. On the other side, it's more difficult for guys. We are required to cover all costs, make all the plans, and execute the first, second, and 10th moves. We put up with the drama, baggage, hypergamy, and irrationality of women. Without any assurance of payment, we perform all of these tasks and more. They only need to sit there with an attitude and appear cute. What do they provide in the interim? A terrible attitude, lack of devotion or sincerity, selfishness, blue hair, having one or more children with another guy, and an entitlement mentality are a few examples. And I'll say this to the ladies watching this. If you even have an average appearance, if you had all the fundamental human qualities that any normal woman should possess, not being overweight, not having visible tattoos, being committed, having a kind heart, and being nice and not crazy, a good man would have found you long ago. The simple fact that you are by yourself says a lot about you. Not the countless good guys you've laughed at, passed over, and refused to even give a second glance in the past. Since you rejected them all and chose the bad boys who hurt you and left you, you're left wondering, where are all the nice guys? They're well settled with the women who liked them for who they were. The whole reason Western countries are dealing with a horrendous dating market is for one simple fact. Most Western countries have stacked the odds so heavily in women's favor and have given them all the power with no counterbalance. As a matter of fact, they have made the natural counterbalance illegal. That counterbalance is professional intimacy services. If that was legal in Western countries, there is no way that women would act the way they do. The dating market would be a completely different place. OnlyFans would not exist. Women would be on their best behavior at all times in order to get and keep a man. Feminists would be completely ignored by both men and women. And the adult film industry would dry up overnight. You don't see countries with legalized professional intimacy services complaining about dating. Who knows, once women can no longer get a decent guy, maybe they'll eventually realize that no-fault divorce and unfair, pro-woman divorce settlements are against their interests as well as they absolutely are. The previous marriage/divorce paradigm worked. The new system just doesn't. Those are the things that have led to the situation where long-term relationships are just about dead. By getting married, women have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Nothing is at danger for women. Men who get married have nothing to gain and everything to lose. By getting married, men run the danger of losing everything. Nowadays, it's incredibly challenging to locate a car that is genuinely for sale. It is better to simply rent a vehicle, drive it hard, and then return it. Keep in mind that it's only a rental and there are many more to try out before you fall in love with it. You can lease for a longer period of time, but never buy because, according to the terms and conditions, you never really own it. Knowing that there's like a 70% chance he will end up no-fault divorced, and then everything he has worked hard for since the last 20 years is probably going to be taken away from him. Men are avoiding marriage because they know that no matter what happens between them and their wives, the justice system is most likely going to see them as the guilty ones and punish them for it. Men are avoiding marriage because they have realized that they can instead spend more peaceful lives without women. They know that there's no point coming home to a woman because that she's not even going to be there, and B, she's only going to complain and whine. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. And let us know your thoughts on this in the comments. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.